Hello, 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 hello. I am your androgynous android game show host from the future, Nathan, and this is the Neon Caster Twitch channel. Thank you for being so patient while we were getting set up. I hope you were all having a delightful, maybe even sinful afternoon. I am very excited to go and enjoy the 1920s neon art deco world of New Capenna this afternoon. Please do let me know how my volume levels are. Hello, hello, hello. Things should be fine. I'm seeing waveforms, so that's a good sign. I'm just going to make sure I have the background audio in my own ears. Well, give me just a second. There we go. Nice, 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 nice. Oh, that doesn't need to be there. Goodbye. Okay, right. How are we all doing? I hope we're all doing good. So to explain, this was a stream that I was looking forward to doing ever since we did the pack openings for Kamigawa Neon Dynasty a couple months ago. I was very lucky to be supplied with a number of packs thanks to Wizards of the Coast Europe and yours truly, a PR company, yours truly, not yours truly as in myself. They supplied me with some packs to open, which I definitely enjoyed doing, and I enjoyed doing that in costume. And I was like, oh, that was so much fun. The new Capenna set with its 1920s flair was also a really cool kind of like art period and design period I'd really want to be involved in. And I was preparing to just go and buy packs to do more pack openings for this. And then without warning, genuinely without telling me, I got a message saying, "You've got a parcel. We've sent you a parcel." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And it was more cards. We have cards. Cards are available, so we'll be doing more. We'll be doing another wave of pack openings today, except it's not on my own dime. So thanks again, thank you very much, Wizards of the Coast Europe, for the hookup. I appreciate you supplying my channel with delightful content. Oh, that's not, so we have, okay, how many boosters do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I opened one when the parcel arrived, so that was 18. We have a theme booster and a pre-release kit, which has another 6 boosters in here. So like over 20 boosters, like 22, 23 boosters in total. We have a lot of cards. We have a lot of cards to go open. We'll see how we get. I forget, Rook. Also, hi, good evening, afternoon. I hope you're here. I hope you're having a good one. I forget if you were here for the Neon Dynasty pack openings, whether you kind of caught any of that. Because we had even more packs for that, actually. They sent me a lot of cards. For that one, I was very, very impressed. Oh, I should probably, for those who do not know anything about the set, kind of explain what this set is about, because we did that for the Neon Dynasty one, so we'll do the same. So, for those who know absolutely nothing about Magic the Gathering at all, I don't think so. The last MTG thing I remember was the mini painting. Ah, right. So you'll get the experience of this. Feel free then, if you are not super familiar with any Magic the Gathering bits and pieces, to ask questions, because part of this is also just doing general Q&A and explainers for people who are maybe not used to Magic as a card game, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about the mechanics or about getting cards or what the difference is between these boosters and things like that. Yes, for those who don't know anything about Magic Gathering at all, it is, well, a high fantasy trading card game series that takes place in many different multiverse locations called planes. And each of those planes has wildly different themes. So we have Kaldheim, which is kind of like a Norse Viking theme. We have Theros, which is like a Greco-Roman myth theme. We very recently had Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, which was like a Japanese-inspired cyberpunk theme. And New Capenna is, as you can probably tell by the kind of style of the packaging, is a 1920s Art Deco urban fantasy kind of deal. There is a lot of like lore and reading that you can do about the planes. They release a lot of short stories that go with each new set now. But kind of long story short, Capenna was a plane that was built by angels, and then kind of like living metal monsters from a different plane invaded and tried to destroy Capenna. And so the angels weren't able to defeat them on their own, so they had to ask for help from demons. And the demons were like, yeah, we'll help you. And they helped, and they drove back the living metal monsters. And then the demons were like, hey, what if you go and just step into this little magical cage we have over here? And they trapped all of the angels, put them into stasis, and then used the magic from the angels to fuel themselves. In fact, it's essentially juicing up angels and then using that magical residue as essentially a liquid or a powder or a salve to fuel their magic called Halo. Halo is this magical substance that the demons use for all sorts of things. And as a result, because this is a limited resource, the demons then factioned themselves so they could hustle the most Halo. If you have lots of Halo, it means that you can hold extravagant parties, you can build magical weapons, you can speak to the dead, you can do all sorts of things with Halo. Oh, and my excellent costuming. Thank you very much, Rick. I appreciate it. I really enjoyed putting this together. Did this take me like around 2 hours? Absolutely. Did I spend this time putting the beat on instead of grocery shopping today? Absolutely. But it's fine. It's fine. I can do food shopping tomorrow. I assume the grocery stores are still open on the bank holiday. They probably aren't thinking about it. Oh God. We persist, we move. So yeah, that's the general rundown of what New Capenna is. What we're going to go and do first is that we're going to go and open the pre-release box first, because there are many different ways of getting into Magic the Gathering. And I think one of the best ways, if you've never played before, hey, good afternoon, Vixie. Thanks for joining us. One of the best ways, I think, of getting into Magic the Gathering, if you've never played before at all, is to either attend a pre-release or a new set, or go to your local game store / go online. And yes, it is a bank holiday tomorrow. I forgot to. That's how that goes. It snuck up on me. You can go to your local game store and buy pre-release packs. And it doesn't need to be of the latest set. It can be of any other previous pre-releases too. They tend to carry a decent number of these. Some of the old ones can go for a little bit cheaper. Because what this has inside is 6 booster packs of cards and some instructions on how to put a deck together. So what we're gonna do is go and actually do that now as if we were at a pre-release. Or you just need 2 of these, one for yourself and then one for your friend. You can go open the packs together, use those packs to go and make some decks, and then immediately start playing with a couple of being able to get enough land to be able to go and play the game. But yeah. So yeah, we're gonna go and do that. Actually, to be able to do that, we're gonna need some land. So give me a second. Oh, and it means you get to see my full outfit. Hold on. I think it's there. Ugh. You get to see the full dress. Yeah. Immediately. It looks good, isn't it? Yeah, we're looking fresh. Give me a second. Let's go find the box of land that I use. I do believe Okay, yes, and you get to see the dress. Excellent, good. We also probably need to turn on the overhead light. It's suddenly become really overcast in here. Great, hold on. You can tell I am organized. You can tell that I know what I'm doing. Okay, good. Professionals. We are only ever professionals. Nothing if not professional at all times. Okay. This was a thing that I had time to go and do in advance and then entirely did not, but that's okay. That is okay. But we can relax with our own glass of Halo. Beautiful. Okay, we have a lot of things on our table now, so what we're going to do is go and clear some of that out of the way. We're not opening these booster packs yet, so they can go move to the side. And we can cut over to this screen. The necklace is actually, by the way, the necklace is actually lipstick. Louboutin, the shoe maker, do a line of cosmetics, and their lipsticks actually come in pendants, so you can wear it as jewelry. It was surprisingly expensive, but worth it for the statement item. I only need one of these. I don't need to buy the entire line. But it's also what we have on our lips today. But yes, okay. How's the color balance from that? Is that too bright? That should be fine. Bright enough so you can all see it. We have our new Capenna pre-release. It has a little tamper sleeve on the side so you can tell whether it's been used. Oh, because there are 5 different gangs, we have the Riveteers as this gang, that pre-release box. So for this particular pre-release, not all of them are like this, but for the Magic the Gathering sets that have lots of different factions, you can usually get in the pre-release a specific faction. So there are 5 factions in this set that I did have as notes of which was which. I do not have them in my line of sight. All the gangs are tricolor. Yes, they are indeed. Oh my god. Oh no, it's also here. You can tell again. I'm very professional. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, we got it. Chaos. Absolute chaos. Here we go. We have the 5 factions. So we have the Obscura. The Obscura are white, blue, and black. This is a lot of text that you're not going to be able to read, but that's fine. The Obscura are spies and fortune tellers. They commune with ghosts to kind of get the lowdown on the information and then use that to manipulate other people. They are informants and magicians. We have the Maestros, who are demon vampire art critics, but also assassins. I am kind of styled as a Maestro today. I'm kind of going with the red, purple, and blue theming in my outfit. Yes. These guys are pretty cool. The Obscura mechanically are probably what I would play, but I think the Maestros in terms of their like designs are definitely my favorite. I mean, you know, who doesn't like sexy vampires, you know what I mean? We have the Riveteers, which is the pre-release pack that we have here. The Riveteers are union workers, builders, but also rowdy, aggressive thugs sometimes. They are overlorded by a dragon, which is very strange. There are not very many dragons on this particular plane, but there is one dragon that runs the Riveteers. We have the Cabaretti, who are the party animals. Quite literally, the leader of the Cabaretti, who is called, I think, Jetmir, is a gigantic, rotund cat party mafia boss. Very fun. The Cabaretti are all about summoning lots of creatures and getting extra bonuses for summoning lots of creatures in one turn. And we have the brokers, which, as I say here, are demonic lawyers. These people are always about, they are corrupt lawyers for one thing, but they are also about having protection rackets. Again, quite literally, a lot of these cards have the ability to protect themselves from damage using shield counters. So there are lots of different styles of play here. They are all 3 colors, and there's lots of stuff in here to allow you to play 3 colors without breaking yourself. It was bold of them to make a Vampire the Masquerade expansion that isn't set on Innistrad, but good on them. I mean, you gotta have vampires in other places too, you know? You gotta have the range. Okay, excellent. Let's go. It says on the side here, build and destroy. And the box that you get has a handful of like cards you can punch out to use as tokens in the box itself. They're trying to go more recyclable with their packaging as of late. The booster packs are still in non-recyclable like plastic, unfortunately, but a lot of the other packaging is now actually in paper. So yeah, you get your box. You get your box. It displays the leader of the gang on the back and the kind of clan type on the front. We go and open it up, and we get a spin down D20. This is how we use to track life in the game. A lot of people use 20-sided dice, but you obviously can use a pencil and paper with the set symbol as the 20. And then we get in here a divider card. Ooh. Somebody might already use that. That's fine. I'm going to make sure that goes to somebody that I know quickly before somebody in the VOD uses that. Hold on. Wow. More dragons should wear cocktail dresses. I agree. But the outfits, some of the outfits in this set are genuinely really, really pretty, and I look forward to kind of gushing over the cards. But yes, we get 5 packs of regular New Capenna draft boosters. And then we get 1 pack that is specifically themed to the gang that we have as our pre-release set. So you are encouraged and enabled to, but you don't have to, build in the colors of the pre-release that you bought. Sometimes you might actually, in these boosters, pull cards that are so good that are not in the colors that this gives you, where you're just like, well, we're just going to build in a different color set. You are not guaranteed, but it is a little easier to go and build in the colors that are set in your pre-release pack. So let's go and open this one, shall we? Did you do the pre-release for this bit, Vixie? I think I remember you saying that you were quite involved in the Neon Dynasty pre-release set and opening cards for that. This headband is a little tight. I might remove it, but we'll put up with it for now. It's fine. You have to suffer to look beautiful, as they say. Okay, there we go. We have Masked Bandits, who are a bunch of raccoons. You don't like to do pre-releases so much anymore. Fair enough. I really enjoy doing pre-releases personally, because it's a good way, I think, of obtaining new cards without having to specifically shell out lots of money in opening lots of packs. Yes, we have Raccoon Rogues, these Masked Bandits. Okay, this is a distance where you might be able to read it. Vigilance, which means that when these guys attack, they do not exhaust themselves, so they can still defend afterwards. They have Menace, which means it cannot be blocked by 2 or more. It has to be blocked by 2 or more creatures. It cannot be blocked by a single creature. And we can use this. Oh, and intentionally stayed away from Neon Dynasty because it's 100% my shit. And I was like, I can't sink all my money to that. My money will be gone. That is very solid restraint. I definitely spent more on Neon Dynasty than I have on a lot of previous sets. But the interesting thing specifically about Masked Bandits is that you can, instead of playing it, exile it from the game for a while. So that's removing it entirely from play. And you can take one land, you use land to cast spells. And this lets a particular land tap for 3 different colors. It can tap for red, black, or green. So what that's really, really useful for is because when you are playing 3 different colors, it can be quite difficult to cast spells of a specific color because you need to go and find the right colored land from your deck, and that might actually be quite difficult to get going. So this helps get the right colors you need to cast spells early. That is called mana fixing. Because the lands tap for mana, and this is helping you fix the mana that you have for the colors that you want. It is a mana fixing card. We have another mana fixing card here. This is this is a cycle of lands that don't tap for mana by themselves, but instead, when you play them, they immediately go to the graveyard, and you look through your deck for either, in this case, a swamp, a mountain, or a forest. Those tap for black, red, and green mana, respectively. And take that land, put it into your battlefield tapped, and then you gain 1 life. So this is another way of ensuring that you get the colors that you need, even though it might be difficult to get all 3 out here. So these are 2 mana fixing cards in a row. These will be really useful for putting our deck together in making sure that we are able to cast red, green, and black spells without too much effort. We have this card, a Tramway Station. This is a land that can tap for 2 different colors at once. It appears into battlefield tapped, meaning that I can't tap it for mana straight away, but when it is untapped again at the start of my next turn, I can tap it for either red or green, red or black, and I can also use it to sacrifice it and draw a card. Body Dropper, which is a black and red. Does that land tap for colors, or does it just appear? So this one doesn't tap for anything. It immediately hits play and then immediately disappears. There are some colorless lands that do tap for colorless mana, but this circle of cards, this suite of cards, specifically don't tap for land at all. It just helps you find land in the color that you want. We have another dual-colored card here. This is a red and black card, Body Dropper, who is a Devil Warrior. Whenever you sacrifice another creature, put a +1/+1 counter on Body Dropper. So if you sacrifice your creatures, this card gets stronger. You can also, with a red and a black, sacrifice another creature on the card itself. Body Dropper gains menace until end of turn, and then will also gain +1/+1 because this top ability will still fire. Very, very good. And we have Jackhammer. This is equipment. So equipment cards, this is a creature card. So all creature, to explain, I think those who are already in the chat are quite familiar. But creature cards have power and toughness down here. The first number is its attack value, its power. This is how much damage it deals when it attacks other creatures or your opposing player. And the second value here is its toughness, how much damage it can take per turn before it is destroyed, before it is deleted, before it dies and goes to the graveyard. Yes. This is an equipment card. Equipment cards do not inherently have power and toughness, although they did in the previous set, but we won't dwell on that. You can equip equipment cards to creatures, as the thing would suggest. This one just makes something 2 points of power stronger. This is a Chrome Cat, colorless card, can play any mana. You've noticed in the corner these have mana values. So for example, I would need to tap 1 black and 1 red mana to be able to go and play this card. This just has a number, which means that we can use 3 mana of any color to go and play this card. We have Plasma Jockey. This one is, you can tell that this one is a specific Riveteers, that's the name of this gang. Riveteers themed card because we have the watermark on it. So watermark cards, the watermark doesn't do anything inherently, but it does give you a suggestion of what other cards play nicely with it. So this is specifically a Riveteers card. And a lot of Riveteers cards have a unique mechanic called Blitz. So normally this card costs 3 and a red, so I would need to tap 3 mana of any color and then 1 red mana specifically to be able to play this card. But I can play it for the Blitz cost instead. If I do that, it appears on the battlefield with haste, meaning it can attack straight away instead of having to wait a turn. But at the end of my turn, it then dies immediately. But I get to also draw a card. We have another. Seems like a pretty aggressive deck. Yes. The Riveteers are all about hitting hard and fast. And kind of, yeah, it's all very, well, as the name suggests, blitz, just blitzing the opponent, dealing more damage than they can catch up with. Red as a color is usually very aggressive, and green as a color is usually about large creatures and being able to gain large amounts of mana really quickly. And then black as a color, we haven't seen a dedicated black color yet, but black is usually about sacrificing creatures, either my own or the opponent's, to do special things. So this is also a blitz card. We have a Strangle. A Strangle deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Just a way to kill a creature during your turn. We have Broken Wings, which is an instant. Instant cards can be cast at any time, even during the opponent's turn. And this also destroys things. It can destroy artifacts and enchantments or a creature with flying. Unlucky Witness. Ooh, I don't think this is a card I've seen before. When Unlucky Witness dies, which we have a card that can sacrifice other creatures, so we could use this to specifically kill Unlucky Witness. When Unlucky Witness dies, exile the top 2 cards of your library. Until your next end step, you can play one of those cards. So this is letting you play cards without even drawing them into your hand, which can be very, very useful digging through your deck for an answer to something. We have a Riveteers Decoy, which is another card with Blitz. We have the Riveteers Charm. This is another cycle of cards where each of the gangs has their own charm, and they do a variety of different things. This one, the target opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker they control with the highest mana value, so they sacrifice their biggest creature. You can exile the top 3 cards of your library and cast those cards, which was very, very similar to the effect that this card did as well. And then we can also exile target player's graveyard. So there are some strategies that put cards into a graveyard, which is out of play, and then reanimate cards from their graveyard or use them to do specific things. And this card says, no, your graveyard disappears. You may not use it as a resource. Ooh, we have the leader. This is the leader of the Riveteers gang, Zeatora. They are the dragon on the back of this. We have them here. What does it do? It flies. Makes sense. It has wings. At the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice another creature, which means that we could also have another way to sacrifice Unlucky Witness here. Big 6/6. Yeah. Sorry, getting focus. I might need to tweak the focus of the camera. Apologies. At the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice another creature. When you do, Zeatora, the Incinerator, deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target, and you create money. Yes. Big ability. It means that you kind of get rid of your biggest thing to deal lots of damage. But if you have a way of taking your own cards and bringing them back to life, that's not necessarily too much of a downside. We also have another rare we have Structural Assault. Destroy all artifacts. Ooh. Then Structural Assault deals damage to each creature equal to the number of artifacts that were put into graveyards from the battlefield this turn. If somebody is playing an artifact deck, this would be terrifying. Lots and lots of damage. And then we have a treasure token that we can use. Love to see a hard destroy all X. Yes, board wipes are very useful. Board wipes are always very useful. We're going to go through these other packs a little faster. But what we might do, actually, is go and put these into piles of the different colors that they are. Because this will let us decide what we want to particularly go for, because, you know, we want lots of cards of the same color that work together in a strategy. So all of these cards are specifically black, red, green. All of these cards are black and red. All of these cards are green. All of these cards are red. And we're going to be opening these packs as well and stratifying the colors in them. So we can, oh no, that's blowing the coloring out. There we go. That might be a little better actually. And then if it gets too dark, we can turn the light back on. So we're going to be opening the other packs that are in the pre-release set and seeing what we get. Just flinging all these to the wayside. A Paragon of Modernity. Ooh, and Black mana focuses on graveyard manipulation, direct target spells. Yes. Red focuses on low-cost, high aggro spells. Yes. White focuses on getting lots of dudes. Yes. Putting cards out of your graveyard makes sense for black mana. Yes, this is true. This is true. Black does a lot of things, but reanimating stuff from the graveyard is definitely one of them. Let me just fiddle with the focusing a little bit. Let's see if I can get that. Ooh, there we go. Let's bump up the contrast a little bit as well, actually. That might help. So, Paragon of Modernity, flying. We can spend 3 mana. Oh, Paragon is a 4 mana card. We can spend 3 mana to give Paragon of Modernity +1/+1 until end of turn. If exactly 3 colors of mana were used to spend this ability, you can put an additional. Oh, you can put a counter on it rather than until end of turn. I see. Gotcha, gotcha. Sewer Crocodile is blue, and we are probably not going to be using it, but it is can't be blocked until end of turn. The hate, affectionate, and actual of blue magic makes me laugh so much. I mean, I like blue. Blue is there is the blue has a lot of cards that tell you not to do things. Or telling opponents not to do things, and that can be very frustrating to be not allowed to play a game. But I quite like blue because it usually has lots of interesting and creative abilities, lets you sneak around other rules. I always like cards that let you play with the rules in interesting ways. A Cutthroat Contender. This is a black card we could potentially use. We can pay 1 life, and it gains it gains 1 power. Not very strong, but it is very cheap. So this might be something we can do on our first turn. Sewer Crocodile is such a specific concept that probably only works with this set. Yes, there is in fact a card called Sleep with the Fishes, and I'm pretty sure there's an equipment card of Concrete Shoes as well. So this set knows what it's doing. It's sticking with the theme. An Informant. Good morning / noontide. Yes, I hope you're doing well. Sorry I wasn't able to catch you on your stream yesterday, Come and Go Tavern, but I hope it was a good one. This is a white card, so we're probably not going to be using it in our pre-release deck today. This is an Obscura card. You can tell it's quite faint, but you can kind of see the watermark for Obscura in the middle. And Connives is the special ability of a lot of Obscura cards, which lets you draw a card and discard a card and make your cards stronger. It's actually very useful. I quite like Obscura's stuff. Oh, we have another Riveteers card, so we might be able to use this. It is 1, and this split mana here means that we can pay either black or green mana for this one, which is useful because if we're doing a red, black, green deck, this lets us use this card in a variety of ways. Death Touch will mean that any damage that this card does will be enough to go and destroy the opposing monster. So this might be one to keep. Ominous Parcel. We can sacrifice Ominous Parcel to search for a basic land, or we can use it to deal 4 damage to a target creature. Mayhem Patrol. Oh my god. So this card came up in the pre-release that I attended. It's really annoying. I hate this card. It is Menace, meaning it can't be blocked very easily. And whenever it attacks, it can give a creature, it can make a creature stronger. And that can be itself or other people. I think the initiative would give good hugs. Okay, maybe not the Death Touch. Yeah. It has very, very spiky claws, so I don't know if I'd want a hug from this dude. This Viashino, which is like a lizard person, would definitely leave some kind of damage if it gave you a hug. But yeah, this card is very annoying. It's very difficult to block and can make itself stronger, so it's consistently doing 2 damage every turn, so ugh, go away. A Shattered Seraph. This was a useful card when I was playing on the pre-release. This is essentially the Obscura version of Masked Bandits. So Masked Bandits' special ability of giving a land the ability to tap for 3 different colors of mana. This Shattered Seraph is the Obscura version of that. So we're not using this either, so we can safely put that to one side. We have another Keodila Strong Arm. Rooftop Nuisance. Tapping opponent's creatures. A Grisly Sigil, which is you can Casualty is the special ability of the Maestros, the vampire art critic and assassins that I'm styled after today. So you can, when you cast the spell, kill off intentionally one of your own creatures and then use that to make sure that you cast the spell again a second time. Even though it is not the same gang as the one that we're playing, because it is in the same color, we still might be able to use it. Legella the Magpie. This is a very complicated effect, so I won't go into it too much. But as I remember, it lets you exile one creature that every player controls, and then when this card leaves the battlefield, they all come back a bit stronger. So you can either use it to remove the strongest threat that an opponent has for a while, or remove one of your own with the intention of making her go away and come back or something like that to make your creature stronger upon return. Metropolis Angel is blue-white, so we can't be using that either. An Obscura Interceptor, another blue-white-black card. It has Flash. Flash is an interesting card effect. It means that you can play it at any time, including your opponent's turn, and sometimes that can be very, very useful. And then we have one of the lands. Okay. Going at this speed is going to take a while, so let's go and kick up the pace a little bit. We have a Broker's Veteran, a Crooked Custodian, who is carrying a body rolled up in a carpet. Again, very, very strong to the Mafia Don theming. The flavor text is quite funny. Nothing to see here, just carrying a carpet. Yeah, the carpet wears boots. Stop asking questions. We have Rafine's Guidance in white. We have a Plasma Jockey again. We have another Riveteers Overlook. We have Jetmir's Fixer. This is a Cabaretti card, but it is in green-red, which we can use. We have a Rox Pommeler, who is a rhino with a very big hammer. We have Join the Maestros, which is the ability to go and make some creature tokens, and we can make 2 creature tokens if we pay the casualty cost. With Echo Inspector. We have Brazen Upstart. This is another Cabaret card. We're using white mana, so we can't use it, unfortunately. We have a Knockout Blow. Whoops. A Sizzling Soloist. So in the Join the Maestro's art is really funny. Let's look at that again. Let's look at that again. Yeah. This big orc being clad out in the clan colors. We're family now, big guy. The band kids come up to you and say you should join their concert. You do not have a choice. Yes. Sizzling Soloist, who is great. Trombonists have told me that the way that this man is holding the trombone is inaccurate. But I love him. I love him. Look at that. That's amazing. I need to build a deck that uses the Tawashi Songsaper DJ from Neon Dynasty and this card together. It would be like a creature artifact spam, but yeah, fun times. He looks cool, so that's what's important. We have a Ledger Shredder, which we're not going to be using. Ooh, we have another rare card in our colors, Unleash the Inferno. Unleash the Inferno deals 7 damage. 7 damage for 4 mana to target creature or planeswalker. And then when it deals excess damage this way, destroy target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls with mana value less than or equal to the excess damage. Yeah, it's a hollow foil rare. And then we have a mountain and token. Pack opening ASMR. Well, these don't really do a whole new card smell, really. I remember back in the day, like freshly printed trading cards had a very specific smell of ink, and ooh, nice. Love that new card smell. Security Bypass, which is a delicious card if you're playing like blue ninjas or rogues. Makes things unblockable and they get stronger every time when they attack. Love this card. A Corrupt Court Official. When Corrupt Court Official enters the battlefield, target opponent discards a card. We have a Dapper Shieldmate. We have another Jackhammer. Gilded Pinions. When it enters the battlefield, it creates a treasure token and can equip to a creature to give it flying. Witness Protection. This is quite fun as a piece of thematics as well, where you enchant a creature and it becomes an ordinary citizen with the creature name Legitimate Business Person. I don't think there has been a card before that specifically defines that the name of the creature changes. And apparently this was initially, that additional clause there about the name changing was a joke by the card designer, and it actually stayed in the card. It was a joke. It wasn't supposed to be on the card, but now it does. That's great. I love that. Witness Protection's a cool ass card. We have Social Climber. It's a very pretty piece of art. I quite like the art here. This is another Cabaretti card. Cabaretti's theme effect is Alliance, so whenever additional creatures enter the battlefield, an effect fires. In this case, when additional creatures enter the battlefield, we gain 1 life. With an Inspiring Overseer. We have a Scrybridge Towers in a very fancy art border. Very pretty. In blue-white. We have the Capenna Express. Sacrifice a treasure, Capenna Express becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. So vehicles are an interesting card that were introduced some years ago but have become way more popular as of late, where they enter as just a regular artifact. They are not a creature, but you can crew them, which is tapping a number of creatures that add up to a power level of 3 or more, and then this becomes a creature. So it's like representing putting a creature inside the vehicle, and then the vehicle becomes an artifact creature and can attack. So we need a creature or creatures of 3 powers or more to power this train, or we can sacrifice a treasure to make the train power itself, which is an interesting piece of theming, actually. An Illuminator Virtuoso. A Hypnotic Grifter. That art's cool as well. I quite like that art. Brass Knuckles, which I think is probably a good fit for a Riveteer deck. It gives equipped creatures double strike, as long as it has multiple equipments. Ooh. So if you attach both of these Brass Knuckles to a person, they get double strike. That's cool. We have a Shakedown Heavy, an Ogre Warrior with Menace. When it attacks, defending player may have you draw a card. So the opponent can choose whether or not I draw a card. And if I do draw a card, it stops attacking. Right, I see. So you can threaten them. You shake them down for money. Yeah. Theming. I love it. I think of a few super old artifacts that would probably be vehicles if they were made today. Yeah, for sure. Oh, this is black, so we can use that. And then island and some tokens. Okay. We're almost through. We have 2 packs left. We have Extract the Truth. Such a delicious flavor in the mechanics. This is a thing that I genuinely love about Magic the Gathering, that I feel that as sets progress, they find new ways to make the card effects really be thematic to the card art and naming. I can't really think of that many other card games that try to do that so well. Netrunner was reasonably good at it. But I think because Magic the Gathering, as of late, in the last couple of years, has been really willing to explore lots of different types of genre fiction, you know, like Throne of Eldraine was very kind of like whimsical fairy tales, and we've had the cyberpunk of Neon Dynasty, and we have this kind of like 1920s mobster set and stuff like that, and the horror plane of Innistrad, which is referencing a whole bunch of different types of horror books and horror movies. And with those really, really thematic settings, the card designers have been working much harder to make card effects that tell a story. Yes, Netrunner is quite self-contained in its sets, so it didn't necessarily have such a wide range of inspirations to pull from, and I think that's Magic's advantage in that it's pulling from such a really wide range of inspirations, and so can evoke those inspirations really strongly in its card effects. We have a Buy Your Silence. This is quite funny. We're not going to be using it because it's a white card, but exile non-land token permanent, its controller gains the treasure token. So you remove something from play. So, oh, no, you don't have that. Just take this money and go. Magic the Gathering being able to do so much with its many sets is cool. Yes. I mean, there was a really long period of time where it was just really high fantasy, just really various styles of high fantasy-ness. And I enjoyed it, but it didn't engage me as strongly as what it's been doing as of late, with going really, really broad with its different themes. I really like modern Magic for that. A big score. As an additional cost to the spell, discard a card. Draw 2 cards and create 2 treasure tokens. So there's a number of ways that we can make treasure tokens that we could use to power the train, if that's the strategy we wanted to do. But if we only have one train, that doesn't seem very reliable. The Cabaretti Courtyard, which does a very similar thing to the Riveteers Outlook. We have Case the Joint. We have Incriminate. Choose 2 target creatures controlled by the same player. That player sacrifices one of them. Ooh. Girder Goons. This is one that I used in my pre-release quite a lot, even though I was playing Obscura, because when it died, it made a rogue creature, and I had ways of getting it to come back to the battlefield after it died. So this was quite useful to play. I quite like this card. Shattered Seraph. We saw a different version of this card earlier. The Attended Socialite. It's being looked after. Making one of them point the finger. Yeah. Waterfront District, blue-black. Citizen's Crowbar. It is a white equipment that destroys artifacts and enchantments. A Forge Boss. Another red-black card. Whenever you sacrifice one or more other creatures, Forge Boss deals 2 damage to each opponent. Ooh. Okay. Interesting. An Illicit Shipment. Casualty 3. It requires a very expensive, like a very powerful creature to die, but then you can search for 2 cards if you use it. Meeting of the 5. This mythic rare is kind of a bit of a missell. You'd figure that it being like, oh, it's all 5 colors. That must mean it's really, really good. It's quite fiddly. because you'd have to build your deck around being able to get all 5 sources of mana to be able to cast this card, and it's super expensive. You're not going to be using this in standard play. This is for other formats of play, I would say. Oh, I really like this full art land. It's like a clock tower that's been filled with swamp water. That's cool. Heck yeah. All right. Last pack. Let's take another swig of coffee. We have a celebrity fencer. Oh, look at her. Look at her. Yes. Who I'm trying to be. Sticky fingers. Enchanted creature has menace, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. That's very good, actually. This would definitely go in our deck, I think. Quick Draw Dagger. When Quick Draw Dagger enters the battlefield, attach it to target creature you control. That creature gains first strike until end of turn. Oh, I like his little glint, his little gold tooth. Nice. The Backstreet Bruiser. The Deal Gone Bad. Target creature gains -3/-3 until end of turn. Target player mills 3 cards. Removing a creature and removing cards from somebody's deck. Hold for Ransom. This is quite fun. I use this a handful of times in my pre-release as well. Enchant the creature. They can't attack or block, and the person controlling it can pay 7 to sacrifice this effect and draw a card. So you can free the thing that I've put in a laser cage, but it costs you 7 mana to do so. Run out of town. Put target simple, remove something from play, and just put it onto the top or bottom of their library. We have a Civic Gardener. I quite like the flavor text on this one as well, actually. Whenever Civic Gardener attacks, you may untap target creature or land. I've told you knuckleheads 1,000 times. You can kill him here, but bury the bodies somewhere else. If you disturb my prized azaleas again, you better dig a second grave for yourself. Well, we have Glamorous Outlaw, which is a Maestro's card, so we can't use that. We have an Obscura Charm, very pretty. We have an Involuntary Employment. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature, it gains haste. Steal an opponent's card and then use it to fight them. Angelic Observer. Soul of Emancipation. When Soul of Emancipation enters the battlefield, destroy up to 3 other target non-land permanents. For each of those permanents, its controller creates an angel. Cleanup Crew. Enters the battlefield, choose 1. Destroy target artifact, destroy target enchantment, exile card from a graveyard, you gain 4 life. Utility. And another Full Art Swamp, yes. Cool. So, those are all the cards that are part of our pre-release pack. Meaning that we have now, put into piles cards that we can use, and we can start looking through these for any kind of like synergy that we might want to use. So what from these did I find really interesting? I found Sticky Fingers very interesting, giving cards menace, making them difficult to block, and making treasure for myself. And likewise, this makes us treasure, big score. So maybe we're doing lots of cards that give us treasures, and then we use the treasures to power that train card. I don't know the Jackhammer Sizzling Soloist. Is that useful? Whenever another creature you control enters the battlefield, undo my control. Target creature an opponent controls cannot block this turn. If this is the second time this ability is resolved this turn, that creature attacks during its controller's next combat phase if possible. So you can goad a creature into attacking. Let's see. Do I want that? Maybe not necessarily. This is a relatively expensive card for 4, but we can play it for 3 with its blitz cost. So that might be worth keeping. Mayhem Patrol is a nightmare. We know that this card's really annoying. We're definitely keeping it. This being both a cheap card and one that we can give Death Touch to make it very scary to fight against is worth keeping. I have another Plasma Jockey. Strangle is just a way to remove a card, an enemy card that we don't want. We'll take that. Unlucky Witness being sacrificed to do something. That's less enthusing. I don't think we have a way of making a lot of tokens to sacrifice, so I'm not quite sure if we'll be going for that. We have our Structural Assault, which removes all artifacts and then deals damage. This is a good bomb, but I'm not quite sure if it's what we need, because we are going to be making lots of treasure tokens, which are artifacts, so we don't want to accidentally destroy the treasure tokens we've been making. Hey, CZZ. Good afternoon. I hope you're having a good one. We are pretending like we are at a pre-release, so we are making a deck from a pre-release pack of cards. Cleanup Crew. Reasonable utility. We might be using that. Civic Gardener, untapping cards. That's pretty useful and it's quite cheap, so we might want to be running that as well. Attended Socialite, giving it +1/+1. Not a huge deal. We're not too worried about that. Social Climber, gaining 1 life. Not too worried about that. Oh, the art on this set is also very, very pretty. Yeah. We haven't gotten many kind of like... Well, we have gotten a couple of alternate arts, but we haven't seen some of the super sparkly things. We'll be seeing some of the super sparkly things later, I'm sure. This card is very expensive at 6, so we're probably not going to be casting this. We want very aggressive, cheap creatures. The Chaldea Strong Arm is also a little slow, but we do have 2. Sometimes going in our pre-releases, going for cards that we have duplicates of is a good idea because it means that it's a more consistent thing for us to find. We can have up to 4 cards of any card in our deck that isn't a basic land. You can have as many basic lands as you want, but all other cards you can only have up to 4 of, and it means that you're more likely to find that card. So we might hold on to these anyway, even though they're a little expensive. Broken Wings is removal. We want to remove the enemy's cards that are annoying, so we might want to keep one of this as well. The Riveteers Decoy, quite cheap. Okay. Forge Boss. Whenever you sacrifice 1 or more, we're not really going for a sacrifice strategy this time around, so I'm not quite sure if we're going to be using these 2 that much. So we can put that aside. We might even just go red-green. We'll see. We might not do that much black, but we can have one of our ways of doing mana fixing on hand. Let's look at our black cards and see if there's any creatures from these that we really want. Deal Gone Bad is removal for 4 mana, which isn't so bad. That's worth keeping an eye on. Illicit Shipment, searching for cards, but it's also very expensive. The Girder Goons, useful card. We're definitely taking that. Incriminate, making the opponent force themselves to go and get rid of their own creatures. We love that. Extract the Truth. Target opponent reveals their hand. You may choose a creature, enchantment, or planeswalker card, and they discard it. Or target opponent sacrifices an enchantment. Maybe that removal is always nice, but we maybe have enough removal. We'll see. I love Shakedown Heavy. It's not that expensive. It has Menace, so it's an easy way of getting around the opponent's creatures. Definitely taking this. Corrupt Court Official. Target opponent discarding a card. but it is pretty cheap. It does mean that we might be able to attack with this relatively early on. Join the Maestros, making the Ogre tokens. Maybe. Maybe. The Crooked Custodian, entering into the battlefield tapped, but in the next turn is swinging for 3. Potentially. Grisly Sigil is great just to deal lots of damage to lots of enemies. And Cutthroat Contender, which we're also kind of like, this is an okay card, but it is a reasonable 1-drop. We have our Jetmir's Fixer over here, actually. Gets +1/+1 until end of turn. If mana from a treasure was spent to activate this ability, put a +1/+1 counter on Jetmir's Fixer instead. Yeah. I quite like the Brass Knuckles and the Dagger as an equipment. Do we focus on making this an equipment style dealy then? We have the Jackhammers as well. Potentially. Potentially. This is an interesting idea that we can explore. Where was that train, actually? Did I accidentally put it in here? Because we have the Express, which would be a pretty solid... Yeah. This is green, so we can use it. The Capenna Express, powered by our treasure tokens to go and attack. And then we have our multicolored cards here. Unleash the Inferno, which deals a lot of damage. We definitely want to go and run of these. This is our ways of doing mana fixing, so we're definitely taking both of these to kind of make it easier to go and cast our cards in the correct colors. So does Masked Bandits, so we're taking that as well. Riveteers Charm removes the opposing creatures, and with this being such a bomb, be it being able to deal 6 damage flying by itself, Jackhammers would be a great name for a mob enforcer. Yes. Jackhammers with the Jackhammer, absolutely. Nice. So we've whittled down some options here. A lot of deck building is working out what cards we can use and then removing the cards that aren't necessary to do what we want to do. The way that you get a little, with the pre-release pack, you get a little bit of advice on how to go and build your deck. You don't need to do this exactly, but if you've never built a deck before, if you've never built a pre-release deck before, this is good advice that's worth taking. You have to build 40 cards instead of 60, so the deck is a little smaller than a normal modern or standard deck, but you'll want about 15 to 18 creatures, and then maybe 5 to 8 other spells. Some like deck archetypes like casting lots of spells, and so we'll probably have more than 8. Because we are playing a deck that is quite aggressive and hits hard and fast with lots of creatures, we're probably going to be making 18 creatures. We're probably going to be playing 18 creatures. So let's go and find the creatures in this deck. This is a creature, this is a creature, so is this and this, and this one. And do I want... Oh gosh, did I... Because I don't really want necessarily Paragon of Modernity. Actually, there's no reason why not. Chrome Cat isn't really useful. Zeotora is definitely... Masked Bandits is going in for sure. Capenna Express is technically a creature. Riveteers Decoy for sure. We're taking these 2 lads. Oh, I just realized that Cleanup Crew is actually a creature. It's 6/6 as well. It's a massive bomb. Yeah, we're definitely taking that then. Because that's usually like an enchantment or sorcery effect, the choose one. So I didn't really process the fact that actually you could also swing with it as well. That's pretty cool. Jetmir's Fixer we're taking. The Plasma Jockeys and the Initiates. Okay. So we are trying to whittle down this set to 18, ideally. We're taking our Plasma Jockeys for sure, that's 2. I'm taking Mayhem Patrol for 3. Jetmir's for 4. Civic Gardener for 5. Riveteers for 6, Capenna Express for 7, Moss Bandits for 8, Seatora for 9. Shakedown Heavy for 10. Cutthroat Contender for 11. You have to go and nap? No problem. Thank you for hanging with us. You might be back. You might be back. Well, we'll see you if we see you. Thanks for popping in and saying hi. That's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and maybe not taking cleanup crew. It's a little expensive. Okay, so if we're taking 18, we're probably taking less than 8 other cards that are not. We want the ones that make treasures. So these definitely. We definitely want Unleash the Inferno because that's our big damage dealer. We want Riveteers Charm, and then we probably want our equipments. 4 equipments. 4 equipments puts us into like 9 other cards, which is not quite what we want. Because I must admit, I'm used to going creature lighter with more spells to augment strategies on hand. So to kind of keep it thin, just so we can have more in the way of creatures to fight with, is all kind of like, oh, uncomfy. Let's see, what of these do we not really need? We want our treasures and we want our equipments. Do we get rid of the charm? The charm is such good utility. Let's... Ooh, decisions. I think we're just going to lose a creature so we can have an additional spell. I was flip-flopping on Paragon of Modernity, so we can just remove that. We're not running Paragon of Modernity anymore. Okay. So we have our creatures, we have our other spells, and now we need our lands. According to our little diagram here, we need around 17 lands. Some of them are going to be cards like our Riveteers Outlook that help fetch lands for us, or our Tramway Station that tap for other colors. So we'll be going for about 14 lands. Good maths. You've been counting alongside in a way that I have not. So if we're including these 3, this leaves us with 11 lands. We have mostly red and green in here. Actually, we have a reasonable amount of black too. Do we have mostly green and black with a splash of red? Green and black with a splash of red. I see. So we maybe want to, across the 11 lands, if we're going to be splitting it 3 ways. 4, 4, and 3. 4 black, 4 green, 3 red. Yeah. I have a little box of lands that we can use here. Full swamps. We have 3 mountains. Where's my forests? Oh, here we go. Nice. So we have the rest of our land base here as well. Put it all together, and what do you got? Well, we don't necessarily know yet. We're going to do some testing. We're also going to check if we've got the numbers right. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, we're 1 short. Well then let's just put another. Let's just put another. Put another mountain in. If I can find where my mountains are at. I mean, that would be great if I could find where my mountains are at, please. I can't just be out of mountains. There's a lot of land in here. Oh, here we go. Mountain. Okay. 40 cards. One last thing that we want to go and check before we kind of shuffle this up and go and do some tests is check the mana curve. Mana curve is a phrase that you might have heard of if you've been playing Magic for a while. What it means is the distribution of the costs of the cards across your deck. So you want a relatively small number of like 1 and 2 cost cards, very few like 5 and 6 cost cards, and a pretty large amount of like 2, 3, 4 cost cards. So it's kind of going from low to quite high to quite low again in that kind of curve. In fact, we also have that little diagram here as well. You know, we don't want that many 0 to 2 cost cards, but we do want more cards. Oh, so we want maybe 0 to 2 1-cost cards, maybe 6 to 8 2-cost cards, 6 to 8 3-cost cards, and then it reduces as it goes down. That's the mana curve. So let's do a curve of the cards that we have here. Plasma Jockey is interesting because it's a blitz card where we might be wanting to go and play it for its regular cost, or you might be wanting to regularly play it for its blitz cost. We're probably going to be wanting to play this for its regular cost because we want to attack with it more than once. So this is a 4-cost card. This is a 2-cost card. So is this one. So is this one. So is this one. This is 4-cost. This is 6-cost. As is this. It's a land, so we're not worried about that. 3, 1, 2, 2, 2. 5, 5, 5. Although, to be honest, I'll probably be playing these in their 4-cost blitz form, to be honest with you. 2, 2. We've got some lands. There's all of this just land. A 3-cost, 4-cost, 4-cost, 4-cost. 1, 4, 3, and this is just lands. Our curve, oh, no problem, Rook. Just take all the time you need. Our curve is slightly off. We have a lot of things that would normally be in our like 3-cost set in our 2-cost. But because we want our deck to be very aggressive, that maybe isn't so much of a bad thing. It isn't maybe so much of a bad thing. When I was playing Obscura, the black, white, blue gang, I had a lot of 3-cost cards because it was kind of sitting around that level. We would be casting 1 to 2 3-cost cards per turn after a certain period of time. But I think in this, we're probably going to be gunning to cast maybe like 3 2-cost cards after a certain point every turn. So this distribution seems pretty reasonable. We have most of our expensive cards in the middle and not that many expensive cards. We have most of our numerous cards in the mid-range, and we have our most expensive cards less frequently. So this seems like a reasonable spread to me. So we're going to go and shuffle all of this up, and we're going to go and deal some test hands and see if this works out. Just shuffling our hands. After this, what say you? I'm gonna nudge this. Yeah, there we go. What say you? Do we want to go in? Well, obviously we're going to be opening some more packs. Let's, after we go and do this, open the theme booster pack, and then we can go and do a swift break for a while, and then return and start opening card packs for reals. shuffling our cards, seeing if this is going to be what we need. On a real game day, we would sleeve these. Using card sleeves is a great way to protect our cards and keep them for longer. Sometimes you pull very expensive cards and you don't want to damage them, so using sleeves for those is very, very important. But from these, I don't think any of the cards that we pulled in these packs so far are especially expensive or rare, so we're not going to worry about it too much. Okay. So, we would, in a normal set of Magic the Gathering, how are you planning to test the deck? So, what I like to do is play test hands to see how it goes in terms of mana curve, and do that maybe 2 or 3 times, depending on how much time I have. In an actual game day situation, if we were playing a pre-release in a store, I think you're given about an hour to build your deck. We've been going very, very slow because we've been looking at and explaining the cards as we've been going and things like that. When it's just me on my own, I don't need to spend as long looking through it. I can kind of go at a pace. What we're going to do is that we're going to distribute ourselves 7 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to play it like we have. We're playing a real game. So we're looking to see what kind of land we have in our hands and things like that. We have a 3-land hand, which is very good. We want to have somewhere in the ballpark of 3 to 4 lands, ideally, in our opening hand. However, the colors don't really line up with what we are going to be casting here. We have all these red cards, and we don't have any red lands at the moment, unfortunately. But we might be... This is a side effect of... playing 3 color, is that sometimes you're going to be really unlucky in kind of finding the color card that you want. So we're going to take this hand for now and see how it plays out. We're just going to play a swamp and end our turn. And we immediately obviously then take our next turn because we're not, waiting for anybody else. We can play Shakedown Heavy for 3. So we can already continue to... It means that we're a little behind on tempo. We'd want to be able to start casting cards immediately if we're aggressive. But, this is dealing with the hand that we're dealt. We're going to draw again. Oh, another red card. I think I might need to have more mountains in this, maybe. But for now, we can tap 3 to go and play Shakedown Heavy. Cool. On to the next turn. We have a Jet-Biz Fixer, which we also can't play, and we're out of lands, actually, so we can't play anything this turn. So I'm already kind of running into, okay, so we need to see if we have any way of putting more ways of guaranteeing mountains into this deck. It feels like there are actually more red cards in this than I had previously expected. That might just be removing one of the swamps in here, or one of the forests in here, and replacing it with a mountain. Oh, a Riveteers Decoy we can play. And what's next? A forest. We would be able to go and play Gerdagoons for its blitz cost. We have a cut through, so it's kind of going through and seeing as you draw cards what you would be able to play. We still haven't found a single mountain yet, which is unideal, clogging our hand with cards that we can't use. So, and since we've run into this issue, this is a good sign that we need to maybe go back to the drawing board a little bit. Shakedown Heavy would let you draw more cards for land access, but that feels like a lot of relying on a lot for one card. Exactly. So let's see in the pile of cards that we got before if there's anything in here that we can use. I know that there's at least one card in here that we can use. Give me a second to go and find it. Cabaretti Courtyard. So the Cabaretti are not the gang that we are playing. We are playing the Riveteers, who are red, green, and black. Cabaretti are red, green, and white, meaning that this card will still be able to go and fetch mountains or forests for us, even though we don't have any plains. You don't have to fetch your plains with this card. So we can actually use this card as additional mana fixing for our reds. So let's go and maybe work that card in. We can also have a think about what cards we might want to cut, if there is a card that we want to cut at all. So, for example, there is probably a 2-cost card in here that I am not necessarily thrilled about and am willing to go and skim from my deck. Crooked Custodian, the fact that it comes into play tapped is not very pacey. We can probably get rid of it. So we can put in the Cabaretti Courtyard instead. I think I also might remove a forest to replace with an additional mountain. We're just going to put that forest off to the side and see if that comes in handy. We also might have just been really unlucky and all of our mountains were just stacked in one place, because that is the nature of randomization and shuffling. This is kind of why the kind of test hands are really useful, sort of useful. If you really wanted accurate numbers, you would be doing a lot more tweaking to see if you can find what you're really looking for. But you know, with probability tests, do hundreds, if not thousands, of simulations before you can accurately determine the probability of something. But for now, we can guess by doing our test runs. Okay, so we're doing another set 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What do we have here? We have a fixing already. We already have a mountain in our hand, which is great. But we might want to use that now because we have both a 1 in a red and a 1 in a green. We might, in our opening turn, use this to look for a forest instead of a mountain. So let's go and explore with this hand as well. We would not normally want to super go for a 2-land hand, but because we have so many cards in this deck that are quite cheap and only cost 2, we can still cast a lot of things, even if we don't necessarily run with a lot of mana in our opening turns. So we'd start with a mountain, and then draw. Or actually, no, we wouldn't do it that way around. Technically, we would want to properly actually play Cabaretti Courtyard, immediately go to the graveyard. I look for a forest, revealing it to my opponent, shuffling my deck. And then gain 1 life, which is an additional thing that this card does and is easy to forget about. I've drawn, and then on my second time I would play a mountain, which I can then tap 1 and a green to go and play Civic Gardener. Then I would end my turn, I would draw a card, I would untap all this, and then I can already play Jackhammer from my hand. It requires 2 to equip it, but for now I'm going to go swing with Civic Gardener, and whenever it attacks I can untap target creature or land. Which I guess I would untap one of my lands. I can't untap itself because then it would no longer be attacking. At the end of my turn, I go and draw a card. Go and tap 2, 4. I can now have the option, I draw a Jetmir's Fixer, of either equipping Jackhammer onto Civic Gardener or playing Jetmir's Fixer. I think I would probably want to tap to equip the Jackhammer onto Civic Gardener and swing for 4, because we want to start swinging for big numbers consistently. Draw, we have our first swamp. So now we have all 3 colors and we are in a position to be able to start casting lots of different things now. We can, for example, tap red and green for Jetmir's Fixer. Go into attack step and swing with Civic Gardener, untapping a target land. I could, for example, untap the red. I don't have anything in my hand that currently costs 2. Oh, I can actually exile Masked Bandits to be able to color one of my lands with the ability to tap for lots of different colors of mana, which I might do. I might go and exile Masked Bandits to go and make sure that my forest can tap for all three of my colors. Why not? Why not? We would draw for our next turn. We have an Overseer's Overlook, and so on and so forth. And it's like, okay, at this point, we've been able to get our mana base within 3 to 4 turns and can start doing whatever. And it's like, okay, we're quite happy with how this is shaken out. That is generally how that would go. And then you would go and play other people. Usually when you play other people on pre-release days, you go and play a best of 3. So it's the first person to 2 wins who wins the game. You go and tell the person who's the tournament organizer about your victory, and you go and play a bunch of people across the day. It was very fun seeing the effect of your change immediately. Yes. It's always nice when it's all kind of like, oh, okay, I already feel the impact of having made those changes. That's always a good sign. And because you're working with a 40 card deck rather than say 60 cards, it's actually pretty easy to see the effect of your change quite swiftly. And that is the basics of building a deck for a pre-release. We did that in an hour and a half. Not bad. That didn't take too long to explain. Or at least I don't think that took too long to explain. We were explaining what the cards look like and stuff along the way as well as doing a practical example. Okay, before we go into a break and do a stretch, let's go and open this. So, a while ago, I can't remember when Magic the Gathering started doing these, but they, in addition to booster packs that you can normally buy, they started doing essentially restricted pull boosters of like limited color archetypes. Usually that's like, oh, these are all the blue cards that you could potentially pull. These are all the red cards. These are da-da-da-da-da-da. You still only get, I think, 1 rare slash mythic rare. So you are unlikely to pull like multiple rare blue cards or whatever. But if you are only looking for blue cards and the cards that you're looking for are like common blue cards, then this can be quite useful. This might also be a way of guaranteeing you being able to go and build a deck of a specific archetype, because this will only contain red, black and green cards that could be used together. You might find red, green and black cards from different gangs, but they aren't going to have colors that you can't use in here. So let's go and open this. Oh, it tells us what we have on the back. They can enhance our red, green and black deck with 35 cards. So it's not just a regular booster. Let's go. Regular booster contains 15 cards. This contains more than 2 boosters worth. It contains 35 cards, but most of them are going to be common. If you open 2 regular boosters, you are guaranteed to get 2 rares. Whereas here, we are only guaranteed to get 1 rare. So balance that how you will. This might be a really good way if you don't have any cards at all of new Capenna, but you know you want to build in this color. These boosters might be useful for you for kind of getting you off the ground, but they are not going to find you money cards. This is going to find the body of your deck, which you can then customize by ideally buying singles of what you want. It is very rarely a good idea to open booster packs if you're looking for something specific, because that's not how probability works. On the Neoncaster, we love trading card games, but we do not encourage gacha style mechanics and gambling for the instances where, you know, not everybody is in mindset to be able to. I'm just going to destroy this packaging. I'm sorry. It's cardboard. It's fine. I didn't realize it was openable at the bottom. So let's go and see what kind of things this gives us. Let us see. Gosh, my floor is slowly being filled with wrappers. We have a Security Rocks, which is not a card that we saw previously. Let's angle this so we can see the text very easily. We may pay red and green rather than pay this spell's mana cost. Spend only mana produced by treasures to cast it this way. So this is 2 mana cheaper if you use treasures to cast this card. A 5/4 for 2 is very good. Sticky Fingers, we've seen. Another Capenna Express, we've seen. A Stimulus Package. When Stimulus Package enters the battlefield, create 2 treasure tokens. So we could have used this card. This card would also have been very useful in the deck that we were building, our pseudo pre-release deck that we were building. A Quick Draw Dagger. Another Body Dropper. A Pyre Sledge Arsonist. It is a 2 and a red for a 2/2. You pay 1 and tap this card to deal X damage to any target, where X is the number of permanents you've sacrificed this turn. Ooh, that goes very nicely with stuff like Body Dropper, where you sacrificed a bunch of creatures to do stuff, and then you deal even more damage after sacrificing things. You used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! On this site, don't remember the name of it, and that just let you pick cards off the database. Yes. Yeah. There are plenty of ways, including playing Magic, where you can just select cards. I have been casually playing Magic on the internet with my friends using Tabletop Simulator, which is a fantastic way of letting you be able to experiment with deck building without you having to go out and buy the cards yourself. I happen to really enjoy playing tabletop games physically, which is why I have physical card collections, but I am not really one for buying lots of packs. To which end, thank you very much, Wizards of the Coast Europe, for giving me all these booster packs, because it saves me from having to buy this myself, and I probably would have bought way fewer of them. So yeah, if you are interested in learning new cards and you're not in a position to go and do a pre-release, because I would genuinely recommend doing a pre-release day as to play Magic the Gathering if you're not used to it, because it's a way of playing with other people physically, and I think that's a really good way of being able to learn the game, and I think you get a lot more enjoyment personally out of being able to play physical cards with physical people. But when you are interested in building a deck yourself, it is vastly preferable to go and build in a virtual environment where you can use proxy cards to be able to work out what you want to build. And then if you want to continue playing that way, it's fine. But it also means that when you are ready, if you are ready to go and play physical, or if you want to play on some services like Magic Arena, you already know what you want to build. Because it can be a crying shame to go and buy a bunch of cards and then realize that the decks don't make sense or isn't what you feel like playing. That can feel really bad. So enabling you to be able to actually feel comfortable with the cards that you're playing is super important. We have another Mayhem Patrol. Antagonize, which is one we've not seen today. Target creature gains +4/+3 until end of turn. Another Forge Boss. We're getting mostly red and black cards so far. Very little green. Another Plasma Jockey. Involuntary Unemployment. An Incriminate. A Tramway Station. See, most of these are commons and uncommons. A good way of filling out the commons and uncommons in our deck. We're not getting any rares. Night Clubber. Ha ha ha. Puns. Enters the battlefield. Creatures get -1/-1. Murder. This is actually a reprint. Murder has come up in quite a few previous games. It's actually almost considered a staple in some instances of just removing a creature from play. Another Mayhem Patrol. We can get duplicates this way as well. We've got a Riveteers Decoy. A Racer's Ring, which is a dual-colored land, but for red and green rather than the red and black ones we've seen previously. Another Body Dropper. A Fatal Grudge. An additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a non-land permanent, is Involuntary Unemployment to 2020. Ha 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 ha. Very good. Very, very good. Very, very good. Additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a non-land permanent. Each opponent chooses a permanent they control that shares the type and sacrifices it. So you can sacrifice your own creature to make other players sacrifice a creature. Or an enchantment or an artifact. We have Goons. Excuse me. Sticky Fingers again. Another Goons. Another Night Clubber. Another Tramway Station. Another Incriminate. Another Riveteers Decoy. Another Antagonize. A Paragon of Modernity. a Riveteers Charm, another Riveteers Outlook. I almost have a full set of Riveteers Outlooks. I guess that would be useful if I was building a deck in this colorway. I wouldn't normally build a red, green, black deck, actually. So it's been interesting looking at these cards that I would normally ignore in greater detail, being like, okay, I see what this is offering. Another Masked Bandits for mana fixing. A Mr. Orfeo the Boulder. Whenever you attack, double target creature's power until end of turn. Ooh, that's pretty juicy. And Unleash the Inferno, and then we have just a token advertising card. So you see, we didn't necessarily get particularly rare things in that set. It was just a really good way of getting cards in the color at common. So if you don't have any cards from this set at all, but you know that you want to build in a particular color set, I would consider maybe buying one of those boosters, those theme boosters, to augment the pre-release you bought. That might be a reasonable way of doing it, but I would not recommend necessarily buying them if you're looking for a lot of new cards, especially rare new ones. It's not going to give you that. All right, with all of that out of the way, how about we go and prepare to go and take a 5-minute break for a bit of a stretch. And I'm going to go and remove this. This is pressing into my skull. Give me a second to go and set things up. Everybody else, I hope that you go and enjoy your break. Okay. Right. Yes. I will see you all in 5. Be right back. Oh, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. I hope you took that opportunity to have a good stretch. Keep yourself hydrated, and so on and so forth, as I desperately go and arrange all these booster packs that we will be looking through. Yes. Okay. Yes. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. We're going maestros today. I have removed the fascinator from my hair because it was pushing into my cranium a little bit. Yeah, I'm very proud of the beat today. Drag King, possessed by demons, 1920s party vampire is the theme. We hate it when the fashion hurts. Yeah, we put up with it. But we yeah, the first half, the instructional video had the hair fascinator in, but for now we're getting to business. Let's open some motherfucking packs. We have a bunch of draft boosters. We have a reasonable amount of setting boosters, and then we have 2 quite expensive collector's boosters to go and open. So we're going to be going through. These might just be 2, but I do believe these are about, I want to say, £12 a pot to buy each one. So this is 20 quid's worth of cards here. That's a lot. That's a lot. So we're going to see what we can get. We're going to be going relatively fast and slowing down and stopping only for I was talking a little bit about this on the other side of the roll of the break, but I will kind of remind. Give me a second. Hold on. Yeah, I will remind that while it is a lot of fun to open. Yeah, this is the one I want. There we go. While it's a lot of fun to open packs, if you are looking for specific cards, please do buy singles. Opening packs is essentially, in many ways, considered just to be gambling. The reason why these have draft booster at the bottom of them is because you can use them to play a game format with your friends. I would strongly recommend, if you're buying draft boosters, to use them to play said game. You don't need to go and buy these booster packs specifically just to see if you can open up any rare cards inside, when you can enjoy using them as game pieces. I strongly encourage them. If you are interested in specifically opening booster packs to your own collection, and you're not interested in using them in game pieces immediately, that is what set boosters are for. These have stuff like art cards and alternate arts and stuff like that. You're more likely to go and find those in this. They are slightly more expensive than regular draft boosters, if I recall, and this is a way of going and getting pretty new cards from a set. But as I say, if there are specific cards you were looking for, please do buy singles. And then on top of that, there are the collector's boosters. Collector's boosters look different for every expansion, but they have a fancy little different types of art in every one. These booster packs are very, very expensive, and you are not guaranteed to go find expensive things in them. You are not guaranteed to go and find big rares in them, but they are very pretty. I recommend, if you are buying these, you are buying these as a gift for somebody else, and they will say thank you very much. We recognize that these cost a lot of money. I, again, will say thank you to Wizards of the Coast UK, EU rather, and the PR group Yours Truly for sending me this collection of cards to open, because I would have not have been able to afford to buy 2 of these. So I very, very much appreciate that they are supporting the channel by giving me cards to open on air. But with all of that out of the way, let us open some boosters. Okay. We have, just throwing it onto the ground, gosh, Sky Crier, holding at this distance. This works quite well. We have Antagonize, a Cabaretti Courtyard, a Case the Joint, a Dig Up the Body, which is another Maestro's card. They're all vampires, so digging up the body is definitely their kind of vibe. Revelation of Power. Run Out of Town, we saw this previously. A Shattered Seraph, we have a couple of these now. I think I have a playset of these now, actually. A Rock's Pummeler. Kill Shot, destroy target attacking creature. A Scuttling Butler. What a fun thing to say, Scuttling Butler. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control 2 or more multicolored permanents, Scuttling Butler gains double strike until the end of turn. Oh, that's all right. Yeah. Whack. Gonna get whacked. Brass Knuckles. This might be our rare. Gala Greeters. Scotland Butlin, indeed. Gala Greeters is a pretty good card, I think. When another creature enters the battlefield under your control, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. We can put a +1/+1 counter on the Gala Greeters. We can create a treasure token, or we can gain life. Very useful. And then we have an island and a token. Okay. Let's put the rares into a separate pile. Continuing to go and open our boosters. Is this fine, by the way? Are you able to kind of see as we go? We have a Jackhammer, a Gilded Pinions, a Disdainful Stroke. Oh, this is well, a Games Done Quick arcade mat. It's actually huge. It's longer than a regular kind of like card game mat. I use it as my general like desk mat for like my mouse and keyboard and so on and so forth. I was considering getting some of the 1920s style fabric I have in my collection and kind of using that to spread underneath, but I didn't have the time. Exposure's good, but yes, I like my arcade carpet mat. I do enjoy it a lot with the Games Done Quick logo in the patterning. We have a Midnight Assassin, Flying and Death Touch. Ooh, that's useful. I might build a deck that uses that. There's a Vampire EDH deck, the Commander deck, that I'm poking at. Boon of Safety, putting a shield counter on a target creature. Spara's Adjudicators. We've seen the Obscura and Riveteers version of this card, where you exile it to let you enchant give a target land the ability to tap for 3 different colors of mana. Welcome, a warm welcome. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order and create a guy. Nice. Body Dropper, again. I have a full playset of these now, I think. Light 'em up. Casualty 2, deals 2 damage and you can double it. Riveteers Decoy. Wing Shield Agent. A Sizzling Soloist, we have another one. Undercover Operative. Ooh, so when I was doing the pre-release, the only person I lost to had one of these, and it was basically they built the same style of deck as me, but managed to get luckier with the rarity of the things that they found. And that kind of stuff pays off, genuinely. You may have Undercover Operative enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it enters with a shield counter, meaning that it can take some damage before it goes away. Because it's a rogue, this is definitely going in my Rogues Ninjas deck. That's really good. Ooh, we have another rare. Jaxis the Troublemaker, and it's in foil as well. I remember a lot of people being kind of like, I'm very gay for this woman. There were a lot of people posting on Twitter with that energy, and I understand. She's looking nice. She's looking like she can break your spine, and there are people that are super into that. Jaxis the Troublemaker, discard a card. Create a token that is a copy of another target creature you control. It gains haste, and when this creature dies, draw a card. Sacrifice it at the beginning of your next end step. Activate only as a sorcery. This would have been astounding to have as our pre-release. This would have been a linchpin, but as it stands, a very useful mono-red card. And we have a regular land and token. We've pulled some good rares already. Let's keep pushing. Oh, okay. Moving on to the next one. We have a Witty Roastmaster. That's funny. I actually really like the cards that are about art and artists. Ravnica previously had a guild called the Rakdos, who are a murder cult, but they're also circus performers and satirical artists, and that was actually a lot of fun. So I like that the Cabaretti in New Capenna also have a lot of musicians and performers, also in red, so they can all kind of like all work together. Alliance, when another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Witty Roastmaster deals 1 damage to each opponent. We have Broken Wings, which we've seen. Psionic Snoop. A Demon's Dew. Gathering Throng. You can find other copies of Gathering Throng in your deck. Exhibition Magician, which is a very fun card art. I really like this piece of card art. It's a shame that it doesn't have any flavor text, because I think there could be probably some pretty good flavor text for this. And for my next trick, check your wallet. High-Rise Sawjack. Waterfront District. Ah, the Altar of the Masked Bandits. More raccoons in the building. Big hustler raccoons. Very good. A Jewel Thief. Trash Pandas. Yeah. Syndicate Infiltrator. As long as there are 5 or more mana value cards in your graveyard, Syndicate Infiltrator gains +2/+2. Ooh. Rogues Gallery, which was also quite useful in my pre-release. For each color, so red, green, blue, white, and black, and I think colorless as well. I think it'll let you pull a colorless card. Return up to 1 target creature card of that color from your graveyard to your hand. Another Obscura Interceptor. And a Plains. Oh, the Obscura Interceptor was our rare. There we go. We continue opening. Ooh. Rafine's Guidance. A Riveteers Initiate, which you've seen. Another Riveteers Outlook. An Obscura Initiate. A Midnight Assassin. Backup Agent. Sparrow's Adjudicators in the alternate artwork. Light 'em Up. An Ascended Socialite. Murder. Venom Connoisseur. What a name. Let's read this one. When another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Venom Connoisseur gains Death Touch until end of turn. Oh, that's cool. If this is the second time this ability is resolved, all creatures you control gain Death Touch until end of turn. Ooh, scary. That's cool. Stimulus Package. Enters the battlefield, create 2 treasure tokens. You can sacrifice a treasure to make a person. A Swooping Protector. And our rare, Riveteers Ascendancy. So this is the big enchantment for Riveteers. Whenever you sacrifice a creature, you may return target creature card with lesser mana value from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Do this once only each turn. So you can throw stuff into the graveyard and then sacrifice your own creatures to summon them. And a forest and some tokens. Working our way through these draft boosters. We're going to be doing the collector's boosters last. So if you want to see what's in the collector's boosters, you're going to have to stick around because I'm excited to know what's in them too. We have a Revel Ruiner, a Cephalid Rogue. We have a Boon of Safety. We have another Witty Roastmaster, an Ominous Parcel, Majestic Metamorphosis. Until end of turn, target artifact or creature becomes a 4/4 angel artifact creature and gains flying. Ooh, this is going to go well in my blue-white artifacts deck then. A Maestro's Initiate. Exile Maestro's Initiate from your graveyard, so remove it from the game entirely. Draw 2 cards, then discard a card. A Tramway Station. A Glamorous Outlaw with their cat. Killshot. Kaidir Strongman. A Nimble Larcenist in the alternate art. Ooh, that's very cool. Nimble Larcenist enters the battlefield. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose an artifact, instant, or sorcery card from it and exile that card. This was pretty useful during pre-release. And this card art is amazing. It looks like a Taro card. That's sick. Yeah. We have a Psychic Pickpocket. Enters the battlefield, it connives. When it connives this way, return up to 1 non-land target opponent to its owner's hands. Oh, you can bounce something as well for 5. Right, okay. A Suspicious Bookcase to give something unblockable. An Evolving Door rather than Revolving Door. Sacrifice a creature. Count the colors of the sacrificed creature, then search your library for a creature card that's exactly that many colors, +1. Exile that card, and then shuffle. Okay. Gosh, my floor is strewn with wrappers. Goodness, a Raffine's Informant. Another Riveteers Initiate. Ominous Parcel. Broker's Veteran. A Crooked Custodian. A Raffine's Guidance. A Chrome Cat. A Jewel Thief. Botanical Plaza for the green-white. Feeling like a card fiend yet? I mean, there's always there's a high of opening all these packs, and then once this stream is over and I have to go clean up my room and just be kind of like, oh, yeah, I did just kind of go through a haze of just opening packs in a heady, revelrous fashion. Out of the way. Costs 2 less to cast if it targets a green permanent. Target non-land permanent controls to its owner's hand. Draw a card. Yeah. An Unlucky Witness. A Graveyard Shift, and I think this next one is our rare. A Tenacious Underdog. Ooh. A Human Warrior. You can blitz for 4 and pay 2 life. Ah, so you can cast it for the graveyard for 4 and 2 life. And it dies at the end of the turn, but it just keeps coming back. I see. I see. That could be quite powerful. It's useful. And we have a foil Riveteers Charm. Captain Comic Geek would love that card. Yeah. Juicy Pulls? Oh, sure. Hi, Student Loans. Hey. Hey. How's it going? How's it going, Lucas? I'll show you the rares that we've pulled so far. We've had a foil Riveteers Charm. That doesn't count. We've got a Tenacious Underdog, an Evolving Door, a Riveteers Ascendancy, an Obscura Interceptor, a foil Jaxus the Troublemaker, and Undercover Operative, we'll definitely be using, and Gala Greeters. But we still have another 3 set boosters to open, another 3 draft boosters to open, another 6 set boosters, and another 2 collector's boosters. So if you stick around, we'll be opening the collector's boosters last. We'll see what's in them. Go to a 1920s themed speakeasy. They only serve magic cut packs in martini glasses. That's the that's the thing, actually for real. Wizards of the Coast, when they were promoting this set in the US, they were kind of talking about the local game stores specifically having costume pre-releases, and I was like, can that be the UK ones too? I would love to go to my local card game store dressed to the nines and show and stunt in like a face in a dress like this, you know. It would be great, but they didn't organize it. That way. But there was actually a release event a couple weeks ago that a couple of influencers that I know attended. Show off those games. Oh, by the way, Lucas, hold on. You can see the dress. The dress is great. A whole dress. It is great, and it has a little fringe. It has fringe at the bottom, so we can shimmy. Yeah, you know. Hey. Yeah. Nice. Had to. You talked about gams, so we had to. We had to do it to him. Proper flapper dress. Yes. Anyway. Okay. We have a Maestro's Initiate. Let me get the camera angle back again. By Your Silence, a Daring Escape, a Paragon of Modernity, another Sewer Crocodile, Cutthroat Contender, a Civil Servant, a Rooftop Nuisance, a Kaldea Strong Arm, another Mayhem Patrol, a Dusk Mangler, Elegant Entourage. Oh, I've not seen this one yet. Other creatures, it gets +1/+1 and trample until end of turn. I see. Yeah. Angelic Observer. And our rare, Cut Your Losses. The Casualty 2, target player mills half their library rounded down, you say? Ooh. Would love to do that in Commander. That's mean. That is a mean thing to do in Commander, especially if you Casualty 2 it, because even if they counter the first one, you just do it again. And again, my blue-black rogue ninja, like, aggressive mill. I'm gonna be putting one of these in there. It's too sick. And you can copy it. Yes. You have to sacrifice a power 2 creature to do so, but that's not hard. that's pretty straightforward. You can arrange that circumstance. We have an Obscura Storefront, an Expendable Lackey, which you can kill to make a fish, a Maestro's Initiate, By Your Silence, Daring Escape, Paragon of Modernity again, Rakish Revelers. Ooh, look at them. And they're offering me flowers? Like, oh. You didn't have to, but I'll take those flowers. Thank you. This is the Cabaretti Monifixers. The Civil Servant. Another Strangle. For the family. Fiend Silencer. An Assassin. It connives. An Arc Spitter. And I think this next one's the rare. No, next one's the rare. Rob the Archives, Casualty, exile two cards, and then play those cards this turn. And... Jetmir's Garden. Solid. Yeah, we'll use this. Tricolor Land, a Triome. A Triome with cycling, useful. And we have one of the full art lands for the plains. Very nice. Okay. Last draft booster, and then we start getting into the set boosters. We have another Sewer Crocodile. Yeah, the full art lands in this set, they clearly saw the fan response to how pretty some of the art direction was for Neon Dynasty, and this leans in to really pretty lands as well. It's very good. A Fiend's Informant, another Riveteers Initiate, another Ominous Parcel, a Broker's Veteran, a Tramway Station in the alternate art. Oh, very pretty. Very pretty. Love that. Inspiring Overseer. It would be now strange for them not to do full, because they've been doing a full art land in pretty much every set for the last 4 or 5. Strixhaven didn't get them, and Eldraine didn't get them, but almost all other sets in the last 2-3 years have had full art lands, I think, as part of their lineups. High-Rise Swordjack, a Maestro's Charm, Cormella, Glamour Thief. With haste, I can play 1 and tap to add blue, red, black. Spend this mana only to cast instant and all sorcery spells. When Cormella Glamour Thief dies, return up to 1 target instant sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. That's pretty good. That's a good-ass card. Angelic Overseer. And we have another Jaxus, not in foil this time. But we do have a foil Broker's Veteran. And then just a land and a treasure. Alright, that is all of the regular draft boosters. It's time to go and move on to our set boosters now. Show us some juice. Yes. Yes, give me your energy. So we get art cards at the front of boosters now. So this is a Seize the Spotlight. A lot of these art cards are very pretty. They don't do anything, they just look cool. But we can now get stuff like foil full art lands. I would love to see Elspeth. Not because I want it so much, but my partner, Elspeth, is his favorite planeswalker. So I kind of want to go and find an Elspeth for him. That island, it's very nice. It is very nice. We have another Corrupt Court Official. We have another Security Bypass. We have an Echo Inspector. A Ceremonial Groundbreaker Shovel. A Darling of the Masses. A Rumor Gatherer. Alliance. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, scry 1. Or draw a card. Ooh, that's pretty good. Mage's Attendant. Quasar, Augur of Agonies. That's very pretty. Like that card art with the golden ratio spirals in their hair. Whenever you draw a card, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Oh. Oh, that's good. That's a scary card. I see. A Disciplined Duelist. We have another all art card. This is also very pretty. Double Strike. Disciplined Duelist enters the battlefield card with the shield counter on it, meaning the first time it takes damage, it just ignores that damage. Corpse Explosion, which is a reprint. Additional cost to cast a spell, exile a creature card from your graveyard, deals damage equal to that exiled card's power for each creature and planeswalker. So it is a board wipe. A red-black board wipe. And we have a foil Echo Inspector and I guess a game to play. Strictly Better. Some cards are strong in Standard, others shine in Draft, but which card looks the tastiest? Take turns being the judge and decide which Magic card is the best of the best in each wacky category. Randomly determine who will be the first judge. Each player then opens a pack and looks at their cards. The judge chooses a category on the list on the back of this card. Oh, I see, there's a big list. Either their favorite or at random, the other player each submits a card from their pack they think fits the category. When the judge has collected all the cards, they reveal each card, read it loud, and choose the winner. And there's a whole list of different categories on the back. 35 categories. You'd assume it would be 20 categories so you can use like the spin down D20s, but sure. The fact that this card is common is actually very good, because Connive, we talked about Connive a little bit earlier in the stream, actually how useful it is as a power, because it is both card draw and making your creatures stronger, and the fact that this enters the battlefield, it gets a little bit better, and just immediately gets stronger straight away. It's pretty solid. It's pretty solid. 4 is expensive, but it's all right. There's another bird card that whenever somebody casts a spell, whenever somebody casts their second spell, it connives. Oh, I've never seen people scared to cast more spells per turn. I think I pulled 2 of those in my pre-release and managed to have both of them on the field at the same time. Nice. It was a nice time. It was a rare though. It's okay, so opening our next set booster. We have this angel here. It is a Angelic sleuth. We have a regular swamp. A maestro's theater. An obscura storefront. A broker's hideout. What? Hold on. Just 3 of the same type of card in a row. A voice of the vermin. This is not one I've seen. Voice of the vermin enters the battlefield with a shield counter on it. Whenever it attacks, target creature you control has the base power and toughness of 4/4 until end of turn. Oh, it makes 1/1s big. Sure. Take to the streets. Citizens you control gain an additional +1/+1. Another shovel. Ooh, the alternate version of Glamour Thief. All right. I quite like this art. I like the color contrast is really stark, really stands out. I dig that. We have an alternate Skybridge Towers. We have Vazi, Keen Negotiator. So this is one of the cards that you can normally only get in the commander decks. There are a set of 5 commander decks that released alongside this set, 1 for each of the different gangs. And there's a number of cards in there that were designed specifically for those commander decks. You won't be able to open them in regular boosters, but the set boosters do have them sometimes. So this is a haste. Target opponent creates X treasure tokens, where X is the number of treasure tokens you created this turn. Whenever your opponent casts a spell or activates an mana ability activates an ability. If mana from a treasure was spent to cast it or activate it, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, then draw a card. So you give them treasure tokens, and then they can use those treasure tokens, but it makes your cards stronger if you do. Surprisingly diplomatic for Grixis, for black, green, red, when really you'd just be punching things. Very strange. Anyway. And we have a second rare, Errant Street Artist, a human rogue, Flash Defender in haste. You can play 1 in a blue and tap it. So Defender means it can't attack on its own. Copy target spell you control that wasn't cast. Oh, I see. So if I played a card and it was countered, I could use this to make a copy of it and do it again. Oh, the rarity is in the corner here. So rare cards have a gold set symbol. Common cards have a black set symbol. And uncommon cards have a silver set symbol in the corner or in the side there. Sorry, I didn't explain that. My bad. But this is interesting. I guess this is kind of like, and rares and mythics are always the last card in the pack. Sometimes you get multiple. In fact, we got 3 in this pack. We got very lucky. Oh, we have an etched foil one. We have an etched foil Ginny Faye. Oh, that's very pretty. I've never seen an etched foil finishing before. If you would create 1 or more tokens, instead create that many 2/2 green cat tokens with haste, or that many green 1 green dog creature tokens with. And you got an etched foil. Yeah, I think I have a regular version of her, but the etched foil version is very pretty. Ooh, sick. And then just a token. Wow. Wow, nice. I have to remember to go and sleeve these immediately after. The Art Deco Art Nouveau vibe is very, very good. They have been reasonably consistent about making sure it's Art Deco and not Art Nouveau. But, because I think Art Nouveau is slightly later. Oh, we have another card. Oh, another really pretty card. And this one has the artist's signature emblazoned on it. But it is a prosperous partnership. Etched foil Ginny Faye. Yo. We have another full art planes, another broken wings, a high rise sword jackhammer, another plasma jockey, another involuntary employment, a glittering stockpile. This is not one we've seen yet. Tap, put a stash counter on the glittering stockpile, sacrifice glittering stockpile, add X mana of any one color. Right. Pyre Sledge Arsonist. We've been getting no alternate arts so far. We've been quite unfortunate. Pugnacious Pugilist. Whenever Pugnacious Pugilist attacks, create a tapped and attacking 1/1 Red Devil token. For the Skybridge Towers. An Unlicensed Hearse. This card's fun. Excuse me. Exile up to 2 target cards from a single graveyard, and they get stronger the more cards you exile that way, which, that's great. That's great. This specifically shuts down specific decks. I mean, like, graveyard recycling is pretty popular, and this shuts that down immediately. This is the fuck your graveyard mobile, or beep beep your graveyard's less deep. Unlicensed Hearse sounds like it's slang. From any graveyard. You can exile it from your own graveyard to make it stronger that way, or you can exile opponents' graveyards and remove their good stuff. It is a very good card. Foil Plasma Jockey. This didn't really have anything especially interesting in it, but that is okay. We move on. That is the nature. Graveyard hate is always useful. We have the leader of the Obscura, the Sphinx, with its disdainful stroke. A swamp. Another rakish revelers. A gathering throng. A civil servant. A civic gardener. Dapper shield mate. An unlucky witness. A nimble arsonist. The regular artwork this time. Still very cool. Rob the archives. A Riveteers Charm. It's funny, I actually have like almost a full playset of alternate art Obscura Charm at this point, just having regularly pulled them, but I've not found many of the other clan charms in the alternate yet. Maestro's Diabolist is our rare. A Vampire Warrior with Death Touch and Haste. Whenever Maestro's Diabolist attacks, if you don't control a devil token, create a tapped and attacking 1/1 red devil. With when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. And we have the alternate art in the same set. Ooh. This one is foil, but it's not etched foil. It's very cool. I like this artwork. Sick. And we got something from the list. So another thing that set boosters have that I entirely forgot about is that there is a chance that you get a card that is just from a list of cards from other sets. Oh, this is... Oh, shoot. I just realized. Oh, so, okay. Some of you might be familiar with Secret Lair. Secret Lair is a thing that Magic the Gathering did, I think now 2 years ago, where you can spend a reasonable chunk of money to buy luxury versions of existing cards, but they also, and you can, there's only like a limited window that you can buy that Secret Lair, and then it is gone forever and you can't buy it anymore. Then they, at one point, announced a Stranger Things set that used character names and everything from Stranger Things, and they didn't appear in anything else. They existed only in the secret layers, but they were black bordered, so they could be used legally in other things. People hated this because it meant that you had to have the money at the time to be able to buy these actually quite expensive cards immediately. And you wouldn't be able to get them anything else. And eventually, Wizards of the Coast were like, okay. What we're going to do is that we are going to reprint those cards in booster packs, but change the names, but the effects stay the same. So I don't remember what this was initially supposed to be, what Stranger Things character this is supposed to be, but this was initially a Stranger Things card. And it's been reflavored to be Innistrad themed. Yeah, it is a good workaround. It took months of fans yelling at Wizards of the Coast to actually, like, was Dustin? Oh, okay, yeah. So, Hargild Kindly Rune Chanter, who is a black woman now, rather than the white guy that Dustin was, for 2 and white-blue, you can tap her to add 2 colorless, spend this mana only to cast artifact spells or activate abilities of artifacts. That's pretty good. And it can be a commander. Let's put that there. Oh, actually, all of these go there. Okay, there we go. We're pulling some good stuff. I'm very happy with having pulled both one of the Stranger Things cards, because all of them are actually quite interesting. Some of them are even like investigate cards, which I'm like, I love investigate as a mechanic. We have a fish token. Oh, no card art. Oh, it's on the back. We have the card art version of Elspeth from Anna Steinbauer. We have a forest. We have a hold for ransom. A celebrity fencer. Again, work, Yas Queen. We have a revelation of power again. Gilded pinions. Rocco, cabaret caterer. I think this card is supposed to be pretty good. When Rocco, Cabaret Caterer enters the battlefield, if you cast it, you may search your library for a creature card with mana value X or less. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. And you can fetch 0 cost cards by paying none. Interesting. Luxurious Libation. This is also a card I've not seen before. Target creature gains +S/+X until the end of turn. Create, it's X and green. Sure. Create a green and white citizen creature token. Sure. Another sizzling soloist. We have the Brazen Upstart in the alternate artwork. Very nice. We have another Disciplined Duelist in the alternate artwork. We have another Riveteers Ascendancy. And a Gathering Throng in foil. Okay. And our last set booster. We have a lady summoning a spectral tiger. That's cool. It is the Extravagant Replication by Pauline Voss. We have a mountain, an expendable lackey, a rooftop nuisance, a midnight assassin, buy your silence, a patch up, a knockout blow. Plus 2 less cast if it targets a red creature. Knockout blow deals 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature and you gain 2 life. Okay, sure. A disciplined duelist. This is the non-alt art version. A botanical plaza in the alternate artwork. Fabine, Boss's Confidant, which is both the mythic and from the commander sets. Creature tokens you control have haste. Oh, that goes very well with Ginny Faye, who makes a bunch of tokens, and then they all have haste. I see. Very interesting. Parlay. At the beginning of combat on your turn, each player reveals the top card of their library. For each land card revealed this way, you create a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token. Then creatures you control gain +1/+1 until end of turn for each non-land card revealed this way. Then each player draws a card. Game Nights played a commander game using Ginny as the commander with this card, and it's definitely a combo. Yes. Makes sense. We also have Cemetery Tampering. Hideaway 5. When this enchantment enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library. Exile one of them face down, then put the rest on the bottom in a random order. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may mill 3 cards. If there are 20 or more cards in your graveyard, you may play the exiled card without paying its cost. So it doesn't do too much now, and then later on, when the game has progressed a little and you've maybe thrown more cards away. We also have a foil crew captain, which is another Riveteers card that makes the queer ladies go, oof, yes, please. Haste, crew captain gains indestructible as long as it entered the battlefield this turn. And we have Havengul. Oh, this is another secret lair that was turned into a regular card. So we have 2 of them. We pulled 2 of them today. Oh, that's very, very good. Legendary land. You can tap for a colorless. We can pay 4 and tap to investigate to create a clue. And at the beginning of your end step, if you sacrifice 3 or more clues this turn, we can transform it into Havengul Mystery, which is somewhat strange of an artwork, but who cares? When this land transforms into Havengul Mystery, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay. When the creature put onto the battlefield with Havengul Mystery leaves the battlefield this turn, transform it. Pay 1 life, add black. Another Stranger Things card. Yeah, we pulled 2. Okay. This is the moment we've been waiting for. So as a result, let's go and kick the energy up a little bit. And put on the King of Gamblers background music theme commissioned from Brandon Liu. Right, okay. Our first collector's booster. Oh yeah, I remember the collector's boosters like tear weirdly compared to others, but actually this is opening okay. So we have a foil Riveteers Initiate. We have a Revel Ruiner. We have a Tramway Station, again in foil. We have a foil Inspiring Overseer. That looks pretty in foil, actually. We have a Security Rocks in foil. We have a Mage's Attendant in foil. Are we getting to the juice? We have a Full Art Plains in foil. Ooh, that's good. That's good. We have a Glamorous Outlaw in the alt art. We have the Riveteers Charm in the alt art. The Metropolis goodness, yes. Yes, absolutely. We have Spyro's Adjudicator's foil in the alt art. We have the Maestro's Ascendancy as our rare. Once during each of your turns, you may cast an instant or sorcery spell from your graveyard by sacrificing a creature in addition to paying its other costs. If a spell is cast this way, it would be put to your graveyard. Exile it instead. We have Gavel of the Righteous in expanded art. It is a commander card. Artifact equipment. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a charge counter on Gavel of the Righteous. I assume this is in the Broker's deck. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each counter. As long as Gavel of the Righteous has 4 or more counters on it, equipped creature has double strike. Okay. Equip, pay 3 or remove a counter. I see. I see. All right. We also have an expanded art Cut of the Prophets. Casualty 3. You draw X cards and you lose X life twice. We also have Oh my god! Yo! This is one of the cards I was hoping to pull! Yeah! Hey! Oh shoot. Yeah. Look at this hot vampire demon. Who does disgusting things. This card does absolutely horrendous things. Okay. So, when Lord Xander the Collector enters the battlefield, target opponent discards half of the cards in their hand, rounded down. When Lord Xander attacks, defending player mills half their library, rounded down. And you're like, oh, well, this card's dumb. We need to go and kill it immediately. But if you kill it, when Lord Xander dies, target opponent sacrifices half the non-land permanents they control, rounded down. Disgusting. Disgusting card. I love him. We also have one more, apparently. We have a Zeatora's Proving Ground. In foil and full art. And we also have, probably a token. We have a Shiny Fish token. Yay. Ooh. Ooh, what a pull. I'm gonna need to clip that for later. That clip needs to be what was the time code for that? Roughly like 2 hours 30 minutes. Okay. Making mental notes of when I have to actually go and do yeah, pretty goldfish. Pretty goldfish. The goldfish is unblockable. Goldfish is unblockable. The goldfish is scary. All right. Final card pack. Final card pack. Elspeth is happening. Elspeth is happening. Give me your energy, chat. Give me your energy. We have a foil Fake Your Own Death. We have a Revelation of Power. We have a foil Broker's Hideout. We have a Gathering Throng in foil. I think I now have a full playset of that. We have a foil Psychic Pickpocket. We have an Obscura Charm in foil. We have a Full Art Swamp in foil. Ooh, good. Look at that sheen. We have a Sparrow's Adjudicator in non-foil. We have a Quasar in alt-art non-foil. We have a Corpse Appraiser in foil alternate art. When Corpse Appraiser enters the battlefield, exile up to one target creature card from a graveyard. If a card is put into exile this way, look at the top 3 cards of your library. Then put one of those cards into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Go digging. Yes, we have a foil Professional Facebreaker, Menace. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. Sacrifice a treasure. Exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. We have a Expanded Art Contractual Safeguard. Addendum. Addendum like the Azorius effect. Strange. If you cast this spell during your main phase, put a shield counter on target creature you control. Choose a kind of counter on the creature you control. Put a counter of that card on each other creature you control. I see. I see. We have an alternate, expanded art Mysterious Limousine. Whenever Mysterious Limousine enters the battlefield or attacks, exile up to one other target creature until Mysterious Limousine leaves the battlefield. Just remove it from play. If a creature is put into exile this way, return each other card exiled with Mysterious Limousine. So you can exile one at a time every time you attack. Just whisk something away. We have a Bootlegger's Stash, a 5 in the green artifact. Lands you can... Oh, this card. This card is silly. Lands you control have tap. Create a treasure token. We also have an expanded art Spiteful Repossession in foil. Spiteful Repossession deals damage to each opponent who controls... Bootleggers are going to see a lot of commander play, yes. Spiteful Repossession deals damage to each opponent who controls more lands than you, equal to the difference. Oh, see. Then create a number of treasure tokens equal to the damage dealt this way. Okay. We have one last card. We have a foil treasure token. Oh, we pulled some good stuff. We pulled some good stuff. Okay, let's moment of hyper energy is over. We can take it back to the chill vibes of lo-fi high roller. Please. Okay. Oh. Well, how about that, everybody? How about that? We pulled some good stuff. We pulled Bootlegger's Stash. We pulled our Lord Xander. We pulled the Havengul Laboratory from the secret lair alternate. We pulled a second. We pulled the Fabine. We pulled the Ginny Fay in etched foil. That probably is actually worth a lot of money. I'm gonna have to check how much that is because I think I have a regular version of this card. I could probably just sell this version, I suppose. We have the Har Guild, the other alternate secret lair reprint. Good stuff. Good stuff. Oh my god. Thank you, everybody, for hanging with me this Sunday for finding bits and pieces. Let me prepare. Okay, so yeah, we kind of return to our regular streaming schedule next week, actually. I will be once again just on Tuesday, we will be resuming our Top Deck Tuesdays playing Bait and Katos, the GameCube classic. Then on Thursday, we will be playing Pokemon Black and White Soul Link with my good friend Rafi the Owl. We're doing the Soul Link Nuzlocke. We are doing surprisingly well. It will be our 10th episode of that, actually. Although it is our 4th attempt at trying. We have had other previous very unfortunate, let's say, runs. So I look forward to... Oh, actually, let's go and see who else is streaming Magic the Gathering. Let's pass you on to them. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. I'm genuinely really glad you enjoyed yourself. I really appreciate the fact that y'all were having fun. Let's see if there's anybody out here who is doing some fun Magic the Gathering content. Who to pass on to? There's actually a lot of people playing Magic the Gathering, as it turns out. Oh, they all have. They're all also very, very popular people. Let's see if I can find somebody who is yes. They are doing Coffee and Commander. Yeah. That looks good. Street Rach. Gotcha. Okay. Let's pass things on to Street Rach. I would like you all to go and give them your love. Say hello. Tell them the Neon Caster sent you. That we pulled. Please tell them that we pulled a Xander and an etched foil Ginny Fay. And I'll see you all on Tuesday. I have been your androgynous android game show host from the future, Nathan. This has been the Neon Caster Twitch channel, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye. Goodbye.